Right, Tom Pearson, thank you very much for coming on. Do you want to give us an intro?
So, we've known each other like what? I've known you since I was a kid, to be fair.
I suppose so, yeah. Or was I one of the old school PTs you were looking at?
Yeah. So like when I was younger and I used to like train at the unit Honda, you were like the PT. So that's what kind of got me. You and Tom Summers were like the ones I knew of. So you got me into like wanting to get into that industry anyway. Because I was down the golf route.
Yes,
initially. So I did like a bit of strength and condition. That was my main work, and I was like, nah, I don't want to look like a beanpole for the rest of my life. So I was like, no, I need to start training. So I think I was 20.
Right.
And I was like, I was basically, I'd been away golfing in Spain for like a year or so.
Because it was pro, wasn't it, pretty much?
Semi-pro, yeah. I was off scratch, but I was at the position where I was like, do I go America scholarship for uni?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want to carry on studying. So I was like, no. Or it was like, you've got to go down the route, you turn fully pro, you go on a tour, but then you need like big sponsorship money. But the big thing for me with that side of things were, I was like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm taking big lumps of money off someone and you owe it.
Yeah.
So like if you went, like I know people that have been on like the Euro Pro or whatever, or European Tour, when they get to that level, and they've taken 250k sponsors of people a year to just pay their ways to get on the tour.
Wow.
And I'd be like, in my head, I was thinking, I don't want to live that life.
Yeah, because imagine if you let them down.
Exactly. Or it's almost like you're a bit of an employee at that point, I think. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that route.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's still tough. It's not like I was the best.
Yeah.
Because I didn't start playing golf till I was 14, 15.
So that's quite late, I'm assuming. For
yeah. But I was like, no, I don't want that route. The S&C coach I was working with in Spain, I was like, nah, these sound. But then I ended up finding myself, when everyone was on the lunch break, I was like, nah, I'm going to go train. So I was just training every day, trying to get bigger, look better.
So did you always think that you were like a rake?
Oh yeah, literally like a lamppost.
Right, really?
Because I shot up quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went down that route. I got back, I was working for my dad for like maybe a year. And I was like, the money situation with that would have been sick. Like obviously it'd have been in a position where you can take that over and, you know, but then I was like, well, that ain't my only drive on money because I don't want to do this.
Okay, get you. It wasn't something passion you were passionate about.
I wasn't passionate about it, and I wanted to kind of have more of a lifestyle and something I want to do rather than just money. So then I went down the route, I was like, right, I'm quitting, dropped a salary, which was good, guaranteed. This was in lockdown as well, so they were like, what the fuck?
Had you already started PT pre-lockdown? I thought you were just about to, you'd got your PT, hadn't you, just before COVID?
No.
Had you not? Because I remember you buying some kit off the gym during COVID to train, didn't you? Do you remember that?
Yeah. So effectively, there was a couple of COVIDs. So the first COVID, I wouldn't train. I think I got some kit to train with.
Yeah.
And then it was when it came back around. So we had that. Was it around November? We had another one.
We had a few ones, didn't you?
So that was when I quit my job, and we had like a month of lockdown up to Christmas or something.
Yeah.
And in that time, I was like, right, I'd saved up like, I don't know, 6-7 grand.
Okay, bit of a cushioning.
Not much.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, with this, I'm just going to spend all of it on courses.
Okay.
And just basically have 2 months off and just work until I get a job.
So courses, i.e. personal training courses?
Yeah, and just educational based.
Okay, so you wanted to be the best. Straight away you were like, I'm going to...
Yeah. I didn't want to go in and be, you know, at the bottom.
Mediocre. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
So I didn't have a job set in stone, so obviously my mum and dad were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I get you. What a drip.
Yeah, literally. And
I'm assuming the
I had a
workaholics...
vision with it though, yeah.
Are they quite successful people, you want?
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of pressure on you straight away, haven't you?
Yeah, instantly, but like at the same time, I kind of know that you've got to work for it. So I think it can go two ways, can't it? If your parents are in a good position, you can be a lazy fucker.
Yeah, or you can
go crack on.
Yeah, copy.
And I was like that with my golf. I was like that when I worked for my dad, and then with this, I was just like a workaholic with it.
So you got that from your dad, you think?
100%.
Yeah, I definitely did as well, yeah.
100%.
And it's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes, you know. Like, I got you on specifically because you've told me it isn't all about the money, it's about the lifestyle, and I'm like, shit, my lifestyle's wank. Maybe I need to do a bit of this, do you know what I mean? But so you went into PT, did you actually, you got Tom as a coach, didn't you? Was that cleverly not only to look better, but was that to pinch a few ideas off someone? Because most personal trainers do copy.
At that point with Tom, because I think that was August before I quit to do the PT.
Okay.
So I weren't even like set. I was just like, I kind of wouldn't mind doing this. I was like, I just want to get in better shape.
Okay.
Because I'd let myself go in lockdown.
Yeah.
Right? Met him and I was like, this guy's living the dream here. He's
really?
like, he's in. I genuinely thought living the dream.
Why did you think
because
that
I was
PT's
like,
living the dream?
I was like earning solid money.
Okay.
But then for me, because all I wanted to do then was train. I was like, you're in a gym all day.
Yeah, so you can train.
You can train. I was like, why wouldn't this? And you're speaking to people, networking all day. Why wouldn't you want to do this? I was definitely thinking it's better than where I am right now.
Okay.
So I was like, this is a dream. If I could match my money doing that, I'd be sweet. So I was like, he kind of pushed me over. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this.
Brilliant.
So then did that thing in November, quit, I got a job at another local gym for the 1st of January. I think it was I think it started on like the 5th, wherever that fell with a Monday.
And what were you doing? Were you personal training? Were you gym instructing? Were you doing a bit of everything?
Personal training.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went straight in. And then the day after, so on the Tuesday, we went into another lockdown.
Oh, I remember, because Will Matthias was exactly the same as you.
Same boat,
yeah. Wow, okay.
I remember we started the same week, didn't we?
Yeah,
so
Jesus.
Went in and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And obviously I'd already signed onto a course which was like 1,200 quid a month for another educational thing. I was like, well, I'm out of money. So I was like, right, straight home, because we couldn't PT at the gym. Straight home, and I was just putting on my stories on Instagram like all day, right, fucking clients. And then within about 2 weeks, I had about like 3.5k. Like, for me at the time.
Is this online or literally people coming to your house?
People coming to my house.
Okay, so you were doing the whole
outside,
training.
so it was all personal training.
Brilliant.
Wanted to kind of, build experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, fucking hell, I've just matched it already. And do you know what? There was times in that lockdown I was like, fucking hell, I was shoveling snow on the drive.
Hardcore, wasn't it?
And it was hardcore, but then obviously when we got back round to the gym, I'd already got like a client base of 20 people.
Brilliant.
Who were ready to start in the gym. And I kind of then started officially in April with probably easily $4,000 a month.
Was that all social media then, getting your clients, or was it word of mouth? Did you reach out to family, friends?
A bit of both. I didn't reach out to, do you know what? I didn't want to reach out to anyone I knew. I know people would recommend that.
Right.
But I was just like,
I want fresh people, I don't know. Okay.
I don't want I've always had this thing, I don't want anyone to ever be able to say to me, you've got this because you've just,
Okay, get you, okay, right, brilliant, I like that.
So I was like, no, I want it all fresh. So it was literally just from that.
Right.
And I think it did.
Did that open your eyes to how easy it was to do?
Yeah.
Because I find getting clients back in the day absolutely so easy, but I don't think personal trainers now, the one-to-ones, I don't think they have a right lot of graft, and they think because of social media, they think they should just fall on the plate. Like, obviously when you were at that other gym, you have to do a bit of floor walking, you build relationships with people to actually get the clients. If you're not here, you can't get the damn clients, can you? Do you know what I mean?
I think because social media is growing so big now, and everyone wants to be in it, and because there's so much talk of online coaching and everything, right? Then the people at PT think they should be doing social media. In my opinion, you don't need social media. For me in lockdown, I was like, look, I'm not in a gym in front of people.
Yeah, but if you were...
But then when I went back to the gym, within about I think by July that year, I'd had like a 8.5, 9k month PT in.
Really? That might have been the right time. That might have been the time that I hunted you down. Because obviously everyone knows me for the guy that hunts down the best of the best. And I saw you at the gym, great personal skills straight away, instantly got on with you, and I'm like, this guy's got such potential as a PT. Yeah. So I obviously reached out to you, but then you said, it's not about the money for me, it's about the lifestyle. I was like, he's onto something here. You must have seen some people do far too much work and have really shitty lives and be miserable for you to instantly go, I need the lifestyle.
I hadn't even seen it, I'd done it myself.
Right,
so I'd had times where I'd done it myself with golf, and when I was working for my dad, I'd done it twice.
You'd had a few burnouts and you were like,
I was like, by the time I was 19, I'd had burnouts. Because when I was golfing, I was literally like, I was that person that was like, nah, if I'm doing anything, I'm doing it to be the best. And I'd be there at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And I'd be there till 10 at night, whether rain, snow, anything.
Yeah. So you're an extreme person.
Extreme. Definitely. And then when I was working for my dad, I'd get in there 5 a.m. There'd be weeks where I think there was like a time where we did 3-4 weeks working like
solid
every day, 12 to 16 hour days plus, like more, I'd say.
So what were your sort of symptoms of burnout?
But I didn't like it. Oh, just feeling like I just had chronic fatigue at that.
Just
I was thinking, I was like, I'm 19 and I feel like this.
Really? And did you start feeling a bit like down, a bit depressed, like what the fuck am I doing it for? What would you know what I mean? Like, what are the signs to kind of watch out for?
I got to a point I was like, do you know what? I was kind of motivated by socials, because I was like, they're living that life. I'm like,
as in influencers, you mean? Yeah,
I'd say so. In the fitness industry mainly.
Yes.
But I was like looking at people and I was like, look, they're living that life. No matter how much money I earn, I can't live that life, so I don't have the time.
Yeah, okay.
So when I was working for my dad, and then especially when I was PTing, when I was PTing, I was doing like 4 a.m. till 6 a.m. at a client's house in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'd start like 2 minutes up the road at the gym and do 6 through till like 2 p.m, have a lunch break, and then do till 10, and then I'd go train on a night at JD in Leeds, 24-hour gym.
Okay.
And I'd be like full on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, this is crazy money. But then I was like, but I've got no life.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you're that knackered, but when it comes to Saturday or Sunday, you can't do it anyway, can you?
Yeah, so all I found were, I couldn't, like back then, I was very like, the only thing I could spend my money on was material. I was like, right, cars, I want, so I went and straight away I was like, oh, I'm getting a sick car, for what I thought was sick then anyway. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to go into flannels and spend 3k today because I can. What else am I going to spend my money on? I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, because you're so restricted.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm a PT. I was like, oh, I could go on holiday, but then
you're going to lose a fortune.
But then if I go away for 2 weeks, I'm spending 2 weeks worth of money on holiday, but then I'm also missing out on $4,000 whilst I'm not there.
This is why
I was like, this is shit.
A lot of people don't see that. They see a PT and they go, oh, that must be so easy. They just don't understand. You have a day off. Let's say you're doing 300 quid a day. Not only is it £300 go down to London, you're also losing the £300 that you're not coming in.
Yeah, it's like a 600 gone.
Big, easy, man.
I did that where it was just like, and I hated it. It could just be a night in Manchester. There was a night and I was like, oh, we went to Dakota or whatever, and went to a restaurant, Tattoo, I think it were. And the hotel might have been 350. Then I was like, right, 250 quid out, plus drink somewhere else. And I'm like, right, you spent like 750 quid. And you're like, but you wanted to do a nice night when you can. Then you're like, but then you've just been off for 2 days. And now you're actually like more than $1.5 grand down.
It's crazy, isn't it? And I suppose it's quite a bad mentality to think like that, but I'm still in that sort of thought process. It's so hard, but I think it's because we're so driven on the figures, aren't we? But I do definitely think you're better with the whole balance thing than I am, because like I say, you burnt out from a younger age, I suppose, you know what I mean? And you saw the signs.
I kind of, perhaps because of how my dad were, I did go in full pelt from the start.
Yeah.
But it was probably a good thing. Because I kind of realised early on, I was like, nah, I kind of want to...
Yeah, have a bit of, time. Because time is the most precious thing, really, isn't it? So how long did you actually do the one-to-one PT?
I was doing it outside from January to April. Yeah. And then I did just under a full year. Okay. I think I did 11 months then in the gym.
And how many clients would you try and get in a day? What was like the sort of max?
The minimum I'd do was 6.
Oh, really? Right, okay. What was the max? Maybe 9?
10, 12.
Really? See, that's good going. I got one of my old diaries out when I was like 18 and I first started PTing. It were up at my mum's house. I was like looking at this diary and thinking, 9 sessions a day? My God, that'd kill me nowadays. But then I do 7-day weeks now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it absolutely kills me.
People, they'll look and they'll go, oh, you've had 8 clients and you've only worked for 8 hours. I'm like,
no, it's a full
you're not doing 8 hours back to back. Yeah. Right, because...
You're doing first
You're
shift.
working as well when people aren't working as well. Unless you're coaching like retired people or self-employed people who have that flexibility, which at the start I was very much, I'd do that like 6 till 9 and then I'd be doing like that 4 till 9, 10 on a night.
Yeah. You get 2 days in one, I think.
Very much so, but then I tried to get clever with it, and I was like, no, instead of speaking to all these people I know who were coming in at 5, I'd be in there during the day speaking to all the retired people. So I weren't coaching my niche.
Yes.
I ended up having it so I could coach, like, I could almost do like an 8 a.m. through till 3 p.m. if I wanted to, solid, whereas most people couldn't get a client in that time.
Really? But you were in there, you were hunting those types of clients you wanted that came in
after doing it for a while. That's kind of where I got.
Very clever.
So there were days that, I mean, if I was going away and I'd squeeze people in, I'd do those days where I think I've had a day where I've had 14 people in, and I nearly died.
It kills you, doesn't it? It really does kill you.
Yeah, it's when I had one, and I think it was 6 or 7 just straight back to back.
Oh man, no.
And I was like, you're like running back out for the next one, and you're like, oh, 5 more.
But it's a lot of mental pressure, I think, because each client, one might be diabetic, you might push him too hard and kill him. The other person might have a pacemaker, you might also kill him. You need to know every injury, everything about each client. The amount of people that just go, oh, I'd love to be a PT. Yeah. Trust me, mate, you wouldn't. That's what I say to people, because they just think it's a piece of piss, and it really winds me up. It proper does, because a full week of doing 9 to 10 sessions a day, you ain't lasting.
If you do it properly, it's not.
No way.
You can go into it and do it like a doddle, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of that. You know, it might be.
Well, you know the good PTs. Let's say there's 50 PTs in Huddersfield, 12 good ones. Yeah. I'd probably say there's even more. I'd probably say like 100. There's a lot.
I'd say on one or two hands you could count the good ones.
Definitely, and they're the ones that actually give a shit. You know what I mean? And
I was having this conversation with someone the other day.
Yeah.
Joe actually, and it was about like the amount of times on whether it's been when I've been PTing or since I've been all online, and I'd get pulled up on it or sent a message on, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, and I'm like, all right, okay, how can I help you? What you're working towards? I'm like, oh, well, my PT's doing. All right, for a start, you've got PT.
Yeah.
So like, why not, go
message
to PT?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, my, form or whatever, I just wanted to check, and they were like, my PT says it's brilliant, and I'm looking at this video, I'm looking in person, I'm going like,
that is not brilliant.
Jesus Christ,
Your
like,
PT
you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
And some PTs are just happy to say, do that exercise, and they don't care how it's done, like no coaching eye at all, and they'll just let them do it. Like, and I see it where people film the clients literally looking like a bellend, and I'm like,
what are you doing?
Well, I'd be very, if someone like ever filmed me and my client was doing an exercise that bad, I'd be like, what are you doing?
I get you. So there's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of shit PTs. Did you ever have this? I had this back in the day, right, where like a gay guy or a girl would not want to train with me because I was quote unquote too good looking. They'd say, I don't want to sweat in front of him. I want a fat PT.
A lot of girls have said that.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Why would you want a fat PT who doesn't practice what they preach?
Yeah.
I say a fat PT, an unhealthy one that doesn't
clearly
behave.
It's kind of about, some people just want to feel really comfortable, don't
yes.
they? But then at the same time, are you getting quality if you're with someone like that?
This is it, because they obviously clearly don't know what they're on about. Do you know what I mean? Because they're eating microwave Rustler's burgers. I had that literally at the first gym I ever worked at over here, actually, in Upper Mill. I'd be the only one that was weird eating my chicken and rice that's weighed out in a Tupperware, and they'd all be like microwaving Rustler's burgers, and they were PTing. No. And I'm like, that's why I've stole all your clients, because you don't do them diet plans and you eat that shit. No. Do you know what I mean?
That's another thing, isn't it? And I think, do you know what? I think there's two things, the whole PT thing and the bad PT thing. When you go online, or I found it at the start, I don't really find it now, but there's a lot of people now in the world, because of all these shit PTs, that are in a mindset that, any online coach, any PT is just like garbage.
Yeah,
because
they've
had a bad experience and they got a bad rep.
Yeah.
So like, they may have gone to a PT and obviously they feel like a PT should be more money because, supposedly they're meant to help them with the diet, but then also with the training, and they're like, it was still shit. But the chances are they're just a bag of shit.
Yeah, they were the wrong PT, but it's a shame though, because it's the same for gyms. There's a lot of people that have never been to gym. They go to the wrong gym to start with, and then they'll never go again. Like they'll go to like a commercial gym, like there's obviously one in town, isn't there? They'll walk in, they'll go, I am never going to a gym again. And I'm like, you just went to the wrong gym. You went cheap and cheerful. You get what you pay for. If you pay £10 for a PT session, they're gonna be shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? If a PT, I think, can just get you in like that, how are they good? This is what I used to do. I used to go hunting for people with a waiting list like me, because I was like, there has to be someone else in Huddersfield with a bloody waiting list. Let's go hunt them down. So yeah, I went hunting and I picked them, but obviously you decided to go online only. So, but if you were going to go to a gym, you'd have gone to my gym, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100. If I wanted to kind of go down that route, do you know what? I've had days since, and people have said to me, and I like,
do you not fancy doing a day of one-to-ones? Because I do enjoy the one-to-one.
I do like the one-to-one, and when you can work with the people you want to work with, when you can be, because you can be selective. I got to the point where people had come, and I'd be like, I can't make that work, unfortunately.
Yeah, even though you probably knew you could, but you just didn't want that person.
Yeah.
It's great to be able to be selective, though. You know what I mean?
And online as well now.
Yeah, which is great.
People say, how do you get people to be compliant? I'm like, there's two things. One, you just be selective with who you take on. I get people think you get them on a call for sales. I don't get them on a call for sales. I get them on a call because I want to suss out what they want, if they're up for it, and if they're going to work. Because if they're not going to work, right? People think that you're just making money on them. I don't see my first month from them as making money, right? So if I've got to go on a call with them for 30 minutes to an hour, right? Suss them out and kind of go through everything. That's time. Then you've got to set them up, that's time, and then you've got your 4 check-ins, and then you've got your WhatsApp. That first month, you're not making much money, so if you've just pulled someone who's shit and ain't going to stay, or you don't want them to stay, you've not really made any money there.
You've wasted money. Is that the process then? 30-minute sort of call to start with initially, then it's a check-in every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. So
I'm always there as like 24/7 WhatsApp support.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think like, what's the point? Let's say someone's got a question or they think they might be doing something wrong, and they wait till the next week. I'm like, you've just been doing another week of it wrong.
Yeah, why?
Like, please just message me.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And I'm always there. Or if you've got a meal you don't like, right? Or you've just, you know, you can get bored of a meal after so long.
Tell me.
Just tell me,
and
I'll switch it rather than them winging it and just doing it shit for a week. So I might just do that.
I do get a lot of that. You know, some people will say, obviously I've got a lot of personal trainers, there's 10 here, 8 there. Some people might come up to me and go, I'm not really getting the results I want. And I'm like, well, have you told the trainer what's wrong? Well, I'm like, you need to just be open and tell. Listen, guys out there, if you have a personal trainer and he isn't delivering what you want, tell him. If you don't like your diet plan, you don't like the type of cardio, please tell us, because it's so annoying, innit? You know what I mean?
And you also get it with, I had a lot of clients come to me at the old gym, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I just didn't feel like my old PT was pushing me hard enough either. And I'm like, look, that's such a simple thing, right? Because there's a balance when you're a PT, like how hard do you push someone, right?
Yeah. Have you killed anyone before? Have you like broken any bones or done it?
No, I've not done anything like that, no.
I actually had a client die in front of me, not my client, thank God. Actually at this gym over here, I was training one client, she was there doing some dumbbell shoulder press, and I heard this scream, and anyway, this guy had died on the shoulder press machine and then fallen off and just pissed himself. And so I ran into reception, I said, get the fucking defib, quick! And they're like, and I'm like, now! Anyway, ripped his shirt off, defib him in front of the gym, my client's just standing there like, oh, he's dying. Anyway, thank God, and incredible, them bloody CPR machines, whatever they are, them defib machines, unbelievable, it speaks to you and everything. Got him back to life, to the hospital, but then he literally unfortunately died like the day after. But there's been some crazy shit. I've had clients pass out on me, diabetic clients, all sorts.
I've had it weren't my client, another one of the coaches, it was someone's like early days session, it might have been their first or second session.
Didn't eat or something and came in.
Didn't eat first thing in the morning.
It's the worst thing.
Didn't eat, came in, oh my God, passed out, them spewing up everywhere. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, you got to be careful in this. But I think as well, you've got to learn from that as a coach. Like if you've seen that, like you need to. If you've got someone coming in on a morning session, they might not. At the end of the day, they don't know. Most people going to a coach don't know. That's why they're there, or they don't know as much as you. So you've got to like then think for the future. Right, I need to tell people this in the future. You don't want that to happen again.
The amount of times back in the day, I had people coming in and I'd say, "You have eaten, you have drank, haven't you? Because we're going to beast it." And they'd be like, "Oh no, I'll be right." And I'd be like, "Trust me." 30 minutes time, you are going to be on that floor passed out. Do you know what I mean? Eat something, get a banana down you or whatever, get your blood sugar up. So yeah, you obviously made the transition from one-to-one, which some people would say is mad, because you gave up how much money, would you say? Because if you were doing 8 to 9 sessions at what, 40 quid a session?
50.
50, you got to 50 quid a session, so you were probably doing
50 is like if
quid
they're
a week.
doing one a week 50, if they're doing like 2 it were 47, 50, pretty much 50.
So you're probably doing what, 1,500 quid minimum a week to 2 grand?
More.
2.5k?
I mean, I had one client which was paying me 900 quid a week, just one client.
Really?
Because he was doing 5 double sessions a week.
Wow, incredible. Double sessions, bloody hell.
He came from Bradford, and he was like, do you know what? All of my clients basically did come from the gym.
Right.
This one guy
travelled,
and it literally came from socials, and it obviously, as my followers, I think you kind of get that, like, people want to just work with you, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
And he was travelling 40 mile.
I had one from
40,
London.
50 mile.
I had one from London, from Big Brother, and come up. He only did it for about 6 months. He always used to bring me a gift, come up on the train, actually up here, drive to the gym, have his PT session, then go back down to London. Yeah, it's crazy man. I used to get badass chocolates.
But you kind of like love that, don't you?
Oh, incredible. Someone's travelling from London to see me as a PT. Wow, just incredible.
When I got to a point, I was like, look, there's someone coming from the far side of Manchester, someone from the top side of Bradford. I was just like, this is sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was doing 6 days a week of like, no, so it weren't a great, it was probably 600 quid a week.
It's a lot of money though, that. But you basically gave up, what would you say, 80 grand's worth of one-to-one clients?
You could say technically, you when you say it like that,
so a normal PT, let's say a normal PT that works in JD, somewhere like that, who would struggle to get 15 sessions a week. Because, you know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of personal trainers, and you just went, 8 clients a day, fuck it, I'm going to go online only. Yeah. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. This is obviously I wanted to get you on. So, do you feel like suss the balance then? Because you were working yourself to death doing online and one-to-one, no quality time and all the rest of it. Do you feel better now?
Oh yeah, like
Definitely.
because you always feel like you've been where you are now forever. Do you get that?
Yeah, I get you.
Like, I don't know. It could be the same with your physique, right? You could be where you are now with your physique, but you just feel like that's where you've been forever. And it's not until you step and look back, you're like, oh yeah, fuck, I've changed.
Wow.
So I do get like that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, online, I've had some days where you kill yourself.
Yeah,
and people wouldn't know that. Like,
sat at a desk, I find it's just so mentally taxing.
It's an office job.
Yeah.
Like my accountant said to me like the other week, he was like, "Tom, you are basically like doing what an accountant does. You're like literally doing data analysis at a desk, and you're just going back and forth through like hundreds of people's.
That's the one thing I dislike, and I don't think I'd ever actually be able to do it because I enjoy people. I enjoy this. I enjoy communicating with people. I'm someone with good personal skills, and I just cannot get that through on a laptop. Even if it is a video, I prefer to be sat down with the person. So yes, I do have online clients. I've probably had 5 that I've had for like years since I was 18. You know what I mean, right? But it's just that one-to-one, and that's why I still do it as a hobby because I just love it.
There is. Do you know what it is? And yeah, I do get like that. People have said to me, "Why don't you do it?" And I think about it, and I'm like, even like I'd say twice a week it comes up in some conversation.
Really.
And I'm
I think a day of like 4 clients would just be nice.
Because I was like, well, if I was doing it now, I wouldn't charge anything less than 75 quid.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I'd do it. But then I'm like, yeah, it's a good few hundred quid for a day. And it's nice. And I mean, it could be, people say, oh, it could just be your shopping or it could be whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sweet. But then,
still tired, aren't you?
Then it's one day a week. But then when I want to go, for example, next week, when I go to Bali for a few weeks or a month or whatever, and then I want to do a month in Dubai next year.
Yeah,
like,
you'd
well,
want
then you've still like done them over every time.
Yeah. You do feel quite guilty going on holiday, don't you? Yeah. I find I have.
So it wouldn't be them missing the money. It'd be like you committed to them.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, because you're someone's counsellor and trainer at the same time. Once you've built that relationship. Going on to that actually, do you find that with the PT side of things, you get very mentally taxed, taken on everyone's baggage? That's one thing I struggle with.
Yeah. So. My girlfriend's mum at the minute is in like psychotherapy and stuff, and I almost think like, well, that's a lot more extreme a version, right? But I relate to it in terms of like the baggage that comes with it because I'm like, when I was PT, and there was times obviously you work with like a wide range of people, but for whatever reason, I probably had a few month period where I don't know if it's through referrals or whatever, but I had like 25 women, all 30 to 55. All kind of going through the same point in life. Yep. Some were like, happy marriage. Some were like, miserable. Some were very like, going through divorce, going through affairs, all this. And I was like, right, I've got like 20 people here going through the same shit. And every time it was like gossiping about all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, I could literally tell like 10, 15 women, I'm like, this is the same story as her and her and her. Like, it's weird.
It's crazy.
But you're taking it in
to offload that, don't they, though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's weird that, like, at the time, I'm a 19, 20-year-old lad, and these are, like, 40-year-old women, and they're just firing it at me, and they've got no one else to tell.
Absolutely. This is the thing, like, they can't speak to their husband who's old school and just wants to speak about football or, the Formula One, about their new makeup or their new Chanel handbag, can they? They're going to speak to you. So you obviously... you learn to love what they love as well, and you learn to listen, And
you've got to be adaptable with your clients. So
yes.
Different person for everyone.
Yeah, I'm a pleaser by nature, so if I know that client is going to come to me and they're going to leave the doors feeling 10% happier, that's what does it for me. I love to make people happy, and listening, getting a workout in, some happy endorphins, it does it for me. But
that's the difference, I'd say, between your PT and your online.
Yeah.
As soon as you go online, you can't build a business off just being happy for it, like everyone being happy. You've got to build a business off results. Yeah. Because results is what shows. Whereas in the gym, when I had a good day, I was like, I loved every client I was with. We had good conversations. Everyone always used to laugh at me. They'd be like, all the PTs in the gym would be like, Tom, it's like I can't remember what they called me, but basically they just took the piss because like every time I walk past you, you're just talking about like business, like because it's just constant conversation. So it was like
soak it in.
Obviously during the set and like just right before the set it'd be all about the training, but then they were all like, I worked with a lot of like top end business people, and I would say I actually took on a lot, which I know now, just from kind of picking up them. But you've got to adapt to everyone, don't you? But yeah, I loved it. Like if I had 5 clients in that day who were you know,
Lawyers
gonna tell me all about their business and how they're growing this and finance, and then that would drive me. They're rocking up in the Lambos, and I'm thinking, this is motivating. And then you've got like a balance, because then you may have like a
normal person,
20-year-old lad or a girl, and then you're more relatable. But then you've got, you know, a 30-year-old woman who's going to tell you about, you know, all these affairs, and I'm like, this is pretty cool too. And you just get such a wide range.
It's nice though, isn't it? So well, you do know that if you ever do fancy doing one-to-one, I've always got a place for you. That's all my gyms. So would you say that obviously you say you're happy with the balance. Are you happy with the amount of money you're earning now? Are you doing well from the online? How many online clients do you have?
Right now,
50 online clients, so which will pay you what a month? 10 grand?
Just over, I'd say.
So call it 120 grand plus.
Yeah, between like 200. I've got a few guys who are at like the 300 point a month who are kind of going down the photo shoot. Or if someone comes to me and they're like, I'm straight off the bat competing, doing a photo shoot. Got a few guys who are like footballers, rugby players, boxers, like pro athletes.
Who need more attention.
They need more attention. So if they're doing like a photo shoot or they're doing a competition, obviously, you know, the weeks prior, they're going to need regular check-ins, right? Yes. If someone's a pro athlete as well, I put them in the same category. It's like they may be doing with, I don't know, Cast Tigers, with Leeds Rhinos, with whatever football team, whatever boxing coach. They may have their own program they've got to do for their S&C. They may then have a program they've got to do for they've got all the games, then they've got their strength programs, all this.
It's a lot of time.
I've got to be like, right, this is what you're doing then, so I need to make sure you've recovered from that, but then we can also get a bit more into your physique for that, or for your weight. You got a lot more to do.
Yeah, get you.
So they're at a higher price point, and then like for my physique lifestyle guys are a bit lower.
Okay, all right. So call it like 120ish plus whatever you earn from social media sponsors.
In terms of turnover,
What is the goal? What do you want to be at?
Do you know what, like?
Because it's all about money for you.
It's a weird. Do you know what it is? But then I'm not driven by money in terms of like I need money.
So you're not like I need to do 500 grand a year.
Yes, I know. I'm for the actual money. No. For the actual business progression, yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, if I was doing, at the end of the day, when I started, you say like, you know, where you're happy with.
Yeah.
For me, it was if I was doing 1,800 quid a month, which I got from my old job. Yeah. And I was in a gym PTing, I was like, I'm buzzing. Okay. Then I realised I've done this in less than a week, so I was like, well, I'm no longer buzzing. And then I was like, you on to the next, you on to the next, and then I got to a point where I was like, just doing really well PTing. Then I was like, I actually have more passion for, like, yes, I like that PT side, but then I was actually more interested in, I want results and I want to work with people who I know are going to come in, and I want to put what I've learned into action. So like if I knew all this stuff, I've done all these courses, and then it's just a 30-year-old mum. Yeah, that doesn't want to do it. Yeah. That doesn't want to do it. And I'm like, but I want to, like, I got a buzz off seeing how someone's body was responding to what I knew. Yeah. So then if you got a client
who just wants to come in for a chat.
Yeah.
You're not about that.
I'm not. I got to the point where I liked it, but I was like, for the future of my business and how it needs to grow, this isn't getting it anywhere.
Interesting.
So I was like, yes, if I wanted to stay PT, I'm like, I could earn a good living and it'd be fun.
Yeah, because you're earning more than a GP doing that already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I was like,
a pretty good job.
I had a vision from even before I touched ground in the industry. I was like, I want to be here, and I knew that was all online. So I was like trying to fly through as quick as I could in my own little world of like just trying to block everyone else out.
Love it.
And I'd say that's probably why I got through it quick, because I knew from the start where I was going.
Well, you already had a plan. Do you have a goal? Do you have like something written? Be like, this is what I need to do by. Go on, what's the goal? So it can be as ridiculous as you want, because everyone always reaches the goal early. I think.
So at the minute, my initial goal is with Flip Physiques, which is like my physique development one-to-one brand. I basically want, it used to be, I mean, it's always constantly changing, right? So it used to be, I want to get X amount of clients, and then that's going to be cool. Then it was, I want to actually have less clients than I thought, because then it gives me more time to work on the back end of the business for content, like working with Joe. If I, like, my next thing is I need to bring in another coach, because I want that to kind of grow the brand. I want to do the top physique stuff, and then I want to kind of dish out my lifestyle clients, and then eventually bring in another physique coach, and work it like that. So I want to have me, 3 to 4 other coaches down the line in that, and then I can almost kind of, I'll be able to push my price a little bit. Those guys can kind of come in, and it's without me having to do 100 clients myself. It's a constantly growing brand. Get more people, more clients, more transformations.
Is there a business like this already that has actually got 10 coaches that are doing big money on
10? I wouldn't. I'm
they're
not
all quite
fully
small,
aware.
aren't they? I always see them. There's like 4 or 5 coaches, and that's it. And then there's just loads of them. There's no like monstrously big one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, and I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you why I don't want that. Like, if the time came and I got to 4, my head probably will change and think, why not 8? Like, why would you not do 8?
I thought the same with gym. 1 gym, 2, let's do 5.
Yeah. So like, at the minute in my head, it's let's get 3 or 4, because then that satisfied me with, I know there's, at least 350, 400 clients in the business, right?
What would you do? Pay them a wage?
No, so how I would do it is I'd have the best way, I think, for me on like a business perspective and for those, and then I don't have as much responsibility either in terms of like, if you've got to pay them however much a month, right? You can do that is one approach, but I would basically have a percentage of their, so it's based on exactly how well they're doing.
Okay.
And then I can bonus them. I can bonus them on transformations, right? Or I've kind of got a structure written down, which isn't even happening yet because I'm not there. But I already know how I'm going to go about it, where if they get, so many likes on transformation, so many inquiries off the back of them, because you can see everything through social media these days.
Of course.
Then they'll get bonus X amount more. So it's more of an incentive thing. But then I'm not like thinking, if something happens, or if they're not doing what they need to do, I don't have to worry about sacking them at the end of the day.
Yeah, because if they want to earn money, you go earn money.
You've got to do it, but at the same time, a lot of inquiries will come through me because I'm the one getting them. But
yes, because you're the face of the brand pretty much, aren't you? Yeah.
So it's a bit of both.
So go on then, figure-wise then, what do you want to be at by when? How much brass do you want to be earning?
So again, that kind of, I think that side of it,
4 coaches.
I'd like to get Flip Physiques to 35, 40k a month.
Okay.
Just Flip Physiques.
Yeah.
And then, down the line I would. But then another side of things for me then would be the more passive side, which is kind of what I'm working on at the minute.
Go on so you wanting to go into property, you wanting to what you want?
A couple of things, yes. I think down the line, once you've got so much kind of income there, you're like, right, you make that money work. But at the minute, I don't actually want to, I've had people say stuff and, I could potentially put money into everything, but I don't want to kind of dilute my focus right now. I'm like, I want it on coaching.
Yeah, until you've got that 4 coaches under the bag and earning this much.
Exactly.
Yeah, one step at a time.
So I'm like, coaching there, I will go into other stuff within coaching because I feel like my head's still in coaching, marketing still similar. It's not like I'm going fully away from it. So that's why I've kind of gone into another passive route now, which is actually being launched in January. But that will be, I'll have kind of done the groundwork, but it'll just allow me to kind of scale to more people, because at the end of the day, you can only coach so many. Yeah. And I'm kind of looking for kind of gaps in the market to help as many people as possible, but not just one thing. So like effectively at the minute, my niche is like anyone who wants to get in top condition or, really focus on their physique development, they're going to have to pay quite a fair bit of money for that service, because that's just how much it is, and they want to get top results.
Time is money. You can't.
Time is money, and you get what you pay for.
You got it. You're not going to buy a Ferrari for a Nissan Microprice.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're paying for that, and you can say a lot of people want good results, but not everybody's in a position, one, financially, but two, where they want it that bad to invest that amount of money. Yeah. So that's fine. But then what I didn't want to do was just be that guy that launched a program for the people that can't afford that, and it was just like there's a 6-week program, there's a 12-week program, because I actually I'm still very morally based on what I do. So I'm like,
you don't want to take the piss, do you?
I don't want to take money unless I still know someone's getting somewhere from it. I'm not like one of those that's just like, I've got a money goal. I'm like, I could only do something if I know it was a good product. Okay. So I was like, I think this is going to be the next step, and effectively instead of a program, which in my opinion doesn't get anyone anywhere, because it's like they need to it needs to be evolving with them, right? Yes. So, and it's not one fit for everyone. No, so it's specific. This new system will effectively onboard clients. It'll take less time from my end, but I can still do it. We can then kind of give them the right programs, nutrition, training, and it is evolving with them, but it just doesn't take my time from checking in, from the calls aspect. Macroactive. Yeah. Good man. So I can kind of run all of that route.
Jamie Harrison, quick.
I can kind of run all of that route. Yeah. And provide a lot of value to people, and because it's very interactive, like for the sort of things where if someone's wanting results but they want to go out, it kind of allows them to kind of balance their nutrition more and balance their training. If they've got I'm doing it with my girlfriend, so like, you know, I think there'll be a few couples that'll kind of want to jump on it, and it can match their evening meals up. It can really help a lot of people.
I like that. It's a great program. I'm assuming you've used it before. It's fantastic. Yeah. So obviously a lot of my friends in the industry use it, and it's the number one in the world, and it's a very expensive software to actually set up, because a lot of people might look at that. I mean, I'm quite clued up, so I would obviously go on the system and I know what's going on. Someone that doesn't, let's say that's just signed up, it looks just insane, but some people would go, is this guy just not using the same one? No, you've paid a lot of money for that, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? So
and it's like everything in there. Like, the good thing with it is, like, I've spent stupid hours now, because obviously I'm running my current brand, but then filming for my own stuff. But then, like, I'm up through the night writing, like, stupid amounts of programs out. Because one thing I don't want to do...
Don't overdo it. Me and Ryan Terry spoke about this, and he says he gets so many people going to it, but then not a lot of people actually end up getting to the end of the sort of, literally, not necessarily the plan, but the sign-up process, because he's asked for too much information. He went so crazy. He says, I think I've just done myself on that. He says he might get like 1,000 people in a day as soon as he does a post, but then only 200 might actually on board, because the plan is so in depth, because so many people are so impatient.
Yeah, and you need it simple. I say
Keep
this with like
simple,
payment stuff as well, right? Like, as soon as because I've made this mistake in the past, and it's only a little thing, and is it going to make someone rich quickly? No, but will it help? Yeah. Is the payment thing on, like, you know, onboarding people in normal coaching, whether it's PT, whether it's online. So, like, back to PT, the first thing I did was, like, you know, if you tell someone, right, here's my bank details, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a long time, isn't it?
And then, it's going to be a long time, or it's more stress, it's more admin for you to do, right?
Yeah, because you don't want to be a bank. It's so pestering people.
I'd either set someone up on Go Cardless, and you can basically just change their fee. And I even did that back PT before online, which is pretty good. But then, if I was onboarding someone, I was like, instead of, I'll send you the details, just send it over within the next week or whatever before you get going. Chances are, like, and you'll get it, is, especially as a PT, with the sort of kind of people you're working with, they're very, like, on and off.
Oh, yeah,
and they're not sure.
Because it's not a priority sometimes.
Yeah, it's not a priority, and they'll be like, oh, I like the sound of that, we can get in good shape. But then they may go home, speak to the wife, and then the wife has a go at them, and then they don't end up paying, or they don't want to start, and you're like... So the best thing in that case as a PT would be, look, just have a card machine there and then. Yeah. While they're on it, while they're a yes man, let's go, and then you just get going.
Did you get one of them? Which were they?
Sum Up.
Yeah, those Sum Up machines. Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
I actually ordered one of those like ages ago.
Yeah.
Back when I was PTing, and it never came. Like, it just never rocked up.
Right.
But then I was like, oh well, I've got the app on my phone.
Yeah.
So I was just pinging them through my phone, so it was fine. So, but I never actually got the machine.
Right, okay.
So
but it's great just getting it there and then, though, whilst, like you say, they haven't had time to think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when they were saying yes, they did want it.
Of course
you're not being an idiot,
it's
but
other
like...
people influencing
you need to block out external noise,
yes.
because if you want something for you, like I've had people, genuinely, online and in person, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they've literally on a strategy call or in person as a PT, now they've gone to me, opened up, so honest and so transparent about how much they want to achieve a goal, how much it means to them, about how bad they've felt in the past and how good they want to feel in the future, and how much it means the world, right? But then they'll go speak to their partner, speak to the wife or whatever, and all this external noise is coming in.
But I want a new dog.
Exactly, and then it tells them, like, they're basically not allowing them to get it, and I'm like, look, this means so much to this guy, and then this external noise is stopping him. I'm like, you've got to always be in a position where you stand up for yourself, and you like, as a client person who wants something, you've got to stand up for yourself. And I'm like that myself. I'm like, if I want something, I make sure no one is telling me otherwise. Like, if I want it, I've decided I want it, and you go for it. So yeah, I think you've got to kind of stand up for yourself.
So do you have a sort of structure to your week then? So let's say you have got a bit more balance now. Are you still regimented? Because I think you're probably quite extreme like me. Obviously, your dad was a workaholic, successful guy. You've gone, right, same direction, I'm going for it. You've been very extreme with everything. I absolutely love that, because there isn't a lot of people nowadays with a right lot of graft, in my opinion. There's like 1 in 50 have graft, because they think they're too good for shit and they can't be asked cleaning toilets, whatever. Get it done, stop being panty.
I like that though, you know. I used to work at the old gym, and like I'd be in there. At the start, I actually started on like a half shift basis, right? because I was like, I was just thinking I can save a bit of money in this way, I'll do that, I'm smart. And then I'm in the gym for longer, I can speak to more people. And then until I was full, when I was full, I went bang, shift off.
Yeah.
But
you enjoy the graft.
I was like, I was doing mornings from like 4 a.m. till 2 p.m. when my shift starts. I'd done a full 8-session day.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so I've earned, like 400 quid.
Yeah.
Right? And then obviously you could just go home, fuck off, go to bed, go out, spend some money. But I was like, I was then on shift in reception, showing members round, cleaning toilets.
Do you enjoy that side of things then, yeah?
At the time when I was still trying to graft and grow,
Yeah.
But I think you got to do it. There's so many people, and I hear people who want to get into the industry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not lowering myself to go in and work in at JD. I'm not working that. And I'm like, but look, if you want to start, you've got to start from here. But it'll also help you. You're in the gym around people.
Yes.
You want to grow your business.
Yeah.
Get around people and speak to people. It's like, it's literally just free time to get clients. Like how I see it is like, if you're not on that shift, right, and you're paying your £500 to £1,000 rent a month, right?
Yeah.
You're paying that, but then in my opinion, if you're not full, you should be in the gym anyway.
All the time.
Right? All the time to get those clients. So then you're basically paying, let's say if your rent was £1,000, you're paying £1,000 to go and speak to them when you could be there for free to speak to them.
Absolutely,
so
you get paid to for free. Yeah, to take the damn shifts. Yeah, I think you've got to earn your stripes, so to speak, can't you? And a lot of people just think it's going to land on the plate, and it's just bloody annoying, man. And like you say, like with JD, if there was one decent PT, I know at JD in Huddersfield, there's my original PT when I was 16, Adam Batchelor. This is one of the guys I've never been able to get hold of because I think he wants to be the top dog shark there. Yeah. He knows if he came to mine with Greg, Tom, JT, all these boys.
Small competition.
You know, I think that's the only way you can grow. So someone like Will Mathias, for example, he was very clever. He came in doing shifts, pestered me to be be a PT, and he wanted to throw himself in there. He wanted to kind of earn his stripes, get my respect, and then actually get into the deep end with the big boys. Yeah. And look at him now. He's surrounded himself by all these top dogs, and he's smashing
it. You've got to do it. You've got to be like, as soon as you feel like you're at the top,
switch.
That's why as soon as I felt that at Aura, there was two things for me. I felt that feeling, but then I also felt I'm not fully satisfied with my work anymore because it's not results focused as much.
Get you.
Right? I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, right, I'm off. Okay. And I'm just jumping because I know I want to be there in this route in X years. Yeah. So why not just fucking do it now?
Do it now.
There's never a right time. So same with your physique and it's same with work. Like, there's never a right time to just fucking do it.
You're quite risky then. I'm very risk adverse. Me, I'm like, because absolutely, because I've worked so bloody hard to not only earn the money, to save the money, to talk myself out and not buying shit. I'm only just now trying to kind of actually spend some money and enjoy it. Because by all means, I'll buy my daughter something, I'll buy my wife, my little boy. But myself, I've literally bought my first thing recently, and I bought like a Chevy pickup truck do because my dad ain't here no more. He would have probably taught me how to build an engine. I need a hobby because on my mood board to kind of keep me going is a 4-bay garage. Never mind about the house. I need a 4-bay garage. I need 4 cars, proper doors. I need to go to my sports car, me like Mustang, whatever. Yeah. I want to that's my thing. I need that. It's not like 20 Rolexes because I just wouldn't be wearing them. I'd just probably get duffed up for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
cars is my thing. So I always talk myself out of it. But then if, for example, Joe wants something camera related or whatever, and I know it's business or it's gym related or whatever, I will not think twice. Like this morning alone, I've spent like $4,000 on business, but I wouldn't spend that on myself. No way, man. Everything back in the day, from a modelling point of view, I got it all for free. Yeah. So I don't want to spend it, and like still supplements and shit still get thrown my way, even though I'm not an athlete anymore or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I talk myself out of it unless it's business. So I am learning how to kind of enjoy myself.
I think you do, and you should. I'm a big risk taker with business, but I am tight more so on a personal perspective. Yeah. There are times when I'm like, no, I'm in a situation, like for example, you went on holiday, you're in a beach club, right? Yeah. And you're like, well, I want to enjoy it. Yeah. Yes, it's going to cost 500 quid today, but I just fuck it off. It's going.
Let's have it for the experience.
Yeah. But if I'm in a situation where I could be in a petrol station and I need some food and there's a pack of chicken breast in there. Yeah. Like 150 grand for 4 quid, no chance. I'm no chance of you taking £4 off me when I know the value of that, right? So I drive probably 5-10 quid in fuel and I go to Aldi just because I'm a stubborn fucker.
I am like that.
I do that.
Like salted,
personal stuff, very tight,
right?
Or can be, on, stuff like that. Yeah. Business, I'll spend money before I've even earned it.
Really?
And I'll go after the money then.
I
So
like that.
if I'm like that first month before I even started, and I had no like technical confidence in the industry because I wasn't even in it. It was like, right, 1,200 quid a month is coming out, and it was on like a locked, I think it was 6 months of like consistent payments. I was like, well, I've not even earned the money. So then I was like, well, I can't just sit here and chill and wait for April when it might open.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going after it.
Mega.
So I had to go and earn it. And then I've had months where, you know, I've known if I want to grow my business that I'm gonna have to spend in certain departments.
Yeah.
And some of the things I've spent on in business, I look back and I thought, like over the last year, I could think I've wasted 20k.
Really? Go on then. Like, so what's a wasted? Because we want to teach people.
Yeah.
People would obviously look at you and go, I want to do online coaching. You know. So what's like, let's say 5 ones that you've probably wasted your money on that thought it might work.
So like I always look back at a big one, and there was like, it was actually back at when I was PTing, and for some, I was kind of between ideas all the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna get.
Because failure's important.
Yeah, I was like, website and logos and stuff like that. And I was like, I already had a logo, I already had like a landing page site, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But then I was like, 4k off there on a site, and then I was just like, it's $1.5 on a logo, and then like another 500 quid to see what it had like looked printed up on some t-shirts and bags, because I just wanted to see what it looked like for merch and stuff.
Of course.
And all of a sudden you're 6k out, and then like 2 months later, I was like, I'm going Flip Physiques, new logos. And then I got it done somewhere else for like 250 quid.
Wow.
And I was like, what like that?
Get 3 quotes first, I always say that. Get 3 quotes, usually go for the middle, I always do that with everything.
With that one, I fell into a trap.
Trap or sales trap.
I fell into a trap of, and it weren't, do you know what, it weren't even sales, it was someone I know.
Okay.
A client who was in the industry.
All right.
Not in the industry, but knew him in the industry.
Okay.
Was basically like, this guy's, great at logos and stuff. So it was like, she was like, just email him and just basically ask him for a few ideas. So I emailed him. And I mean, it was probably me just being naive because I was 20, right? Mm-hmm. And I emailed him, I was like, look, I want kind of these concepts, all this stuff. And then he came back to me like a week later. I kind of forgotten about it, to be fair. Came back to me with all the finished product. I was like, this looks fucking like very high end, like way above what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And all these like welcome pack boxes with all my branding in it, all the booklets done.
Right.
And I was like,
with the invoice.
Yeah. And then it was like 1,400 quid. I was like, all right, I've got to pay for this now.
Oh shit.
I was, shit.
I mean, here's a secret for you. There's a website called Fiverr, and you can get everything on Fiverr done for absolutely next to nothing. If you want a new logo, don't be stupid and pay £1,000. No. It's important. Obviously, wait till you get the right one churned out. Do you know what I mean? But there's plenty of people out there that can do you decent.
But in terms of like where you should invest your money, I would say, and I would happily spend money all the time. I've had money where I've spent easy 10k. I've had months, so many months, and I said from the very start, and I still stand by, I think I'll do it for longer, to be fair, is I basically say either 75 to 100%, as long as I've got enough to live, right, at the other side of my income, I'm reinvesting back into business. It'll get to a point where your income gets so high, you're like, why would you reinvest that back? It's not gaining you what you're going to return on your investment, right?
Yes.
But for where I've been in the last couple of years, I'm like, I've lived nicely from it. I mean, I've got nice stuff, nice car, whatever, go on nice holidays. So it's not like I'm spending all of it. But I've had months where earlier on, and I've had 5k coming in. I've spent 6k out before 5k's coming in.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
there's a lot of outgoings.
And then stupid outgoings. But then how I see it mentally is if I'm earning right. At the time, if I was earning 5k a month, and then I don't invest back, I don't invest in content, I don't invest in business consultancy, I don't learn from the best, I don't do more education courses, my results are going to stay the same, all this stuff, I'm like, that's cool, but I'll be on 5k forever.
Yeah, you'll stay still.
And I'll stay still, and I don't want to do that. So I'm like, I will reinvest until I've grown myself to the position where I'm like sick. Yeah. I've actually recently got to a point where I'm like, I know I will kind of delve back into a consultancy point because you always can know more, right? But I'd say about 3-4 months ago, I got to a position where I was like, I've actually taken in a lot of information which will help me like 5 stages ahead of where I even am now. Really? So I kind of actually delved back out of that consultancy side and was like, and I can manage that now. And I do know enough to like really fucking grow it. So it's more now, I don't need the accountability anymore. I'm like, I just need to fucking do it. Stop being lazy and just crack on. Put the hours in.
Not that you're lazy.
No, but like,
so what would you say the number one thing that you spend on is the best bang for buck? What should everyone not skimp out on?
For online or for PT?
Everything. Content.
Yeah, no, content's big.
It is big because who's going to...
Right, if you put out, how I see it is, and we and Joe had a conversation about this, like, if you put out content, which is what every other person, like, social media is getting more, like, at the end of the day, you know how we were saying, like, all PTs now want to do content, right? Yeah. So you've not only got online coaches putting out content, you've got PTs, like, every person in fitness now is putting out the same content, so you can't put out that same content because it's going to get you nowhere. You've got to, like, I always say, and my biggest thing I've tried to do in business so far, people wouldn't know it, I wouldn't even say told anyone, but is I look at, could be somebody, you know, it could have been a PT client who had a business in food, it could have been a business in property, or I could see a TV advert for some hair straighteners and I'm like, what in their marketing or in their sales or in whatever are they doing? And then I try and have like a innovation for my industry on that. That's kind of how I try to go. So like, I'd say with your content especially and your marketing, you've got to kind of take innovation from elsewhere because that way I know I'm not going to be the same as every other fucker.
So you're basically saying spend your money on content but be different.
Yeah,
be different.
Be different, but give it a lot of value. To your clientele or your ideal client, because again the question I get asked is like, how are you now only working with people, like I would say you're going to have clients where, you know, life gets in the way, right? But a good 90% of my clients I know are coming back every week checking in and I'm like looking at the photos thinking fucking hell, you've put a shift in.
Really?
But I never used to have that when I started, and people don't get that. People just think you get to that point, but it didn't happen by accident. One is, you know, one thing I would say is like if you're showing clients just in results, you attract that, don't you? Because
absolutely.
And I know people think, oh, you're putting out transformations because you're trying to get more clients. I am focused on growing the business, but at the same time, a big reason I put out transformation posts and especially client journeys is I'm trying to motivate my other fucking clients.
And motivate that client because just think, let's say of all these, they get absolutely buzzing off that, you know what I mean? Like, I actually used to get told off, my gyms used to get told off for that really, my first gym, about before and after pictures, purely because it had almost put people off, which is really annoying to me because I used to be the, you know, transformation man. I used to always do the before and afters, and honestly on my iPad I must have thousands of before and after pictures, and I actually stopped posting them because it does actually put some clients off. Do you know the ones that are basically wanting to come for their health? They want heart attack prevention, they want a chat, they want to get some sweat on because they're going to go to the mansion at weekend.
And that's where your niche comes in, doesn't it? So if your niche is that, you've got to be putting out video testimonials of your clients saying, I feel so much healthier.
You got it. That's
Whereas if you're a physique man, which is where I'm specialised in. Physiques only, results only, my content will be, don't fuck around. And I'll be brutal. And I'll get messages or I'll sometimes have my missus saying, Tom, you sound like you're a bit fucking hard on there. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I only want to work with hard on. And that's why everyone that comes in here, could I potentially get, you know, 100 inquiries every week as like a generalized from everywhere sort of place? Yeah, if I marketed in a really soft, everything open way, but I don't want that. Like I'm like, this is my niche. And at the end of the day, you don't have to be, it's not about being liked, but you've only got to appeal to the ones that you want to appeal to. And I think that James Smith does well with that, right? Because he's quite abrupt, but when he says stuff like, it could be about, you know, you don't need to do this movement or, you know, just being a calorie deficit. Someone who's a bodybuilder, yes, can look at that and go, yeah, that's so basic, that's bullshit. But he's not speaking to bodybuilders, he's speaking to his ideal niche, and that is the perfect, like, way to explain it to that niche. And that's kind of how I am with physique. I'm like, look,
if you want extreme,
I'm not like bodybuilder level of extreme where I'm screaming and shouting in sets, but at the same time, I'm like, if you want that photo shoot, look, you still can't fuck around. You can have some lifestyle balance, but you got to manage it well. And but you're not getting there without putting the work in.
Absolutely.
So you've got to show that. And does that attract everyone? No, but at the same time, that's what you're there to get.
Well, absolutely. We obviously mentioned a little bit, touched on this, social media. A lot of your business has been built from social media. So thank you Instagram, thank you Facebook, all the rest of it. We were talking about money, girls, inappropriate messages, gay guys even, and you know, does your missus mind it and all that. Have you had some interesting ones in the past?
Yeah.
Do people see you in a nice car, see you with all these clients, all this like social media presence, and then think they can just slip into your DMs even though you've clearly got a missus and start stirring the pot?
Yeah, no, you'll always get that.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. Like, I'm in a situation where my girlfriend's in a similar position with her socials, where like I know she's going to get lads message her because, you know, they think they can, they don't care. Like, at the end of the day, I think it almost, with social media, I think people almost just feel like they can do anything because it's like fake.
Well, it's because they've got a screen in front of them. They've
Yeah,
got
they're
that
not
barrier.
there.
There's so many people that would potentially send you a message but wouldn't have the balls to
No
come
way.
up to you in the gym, talk,
No.
just speak to you, mate. You
No.
know what I mean?
No, I know, literally, and I've had it before where, like, you know, you could go somewhere and it's clear you've got a girlfriend, and then like someone's just been like, they'll just slide into DM, they've just seen you, or, you know, whatever, and you're like, well, you didn't come up to me then, did you? But now as soon as you've left, they've messaged you, and it's like,
Or they've seen your car.
yeah, literally, that's it. And I think, yeah, literally, so like, if I think back, right, 2 years back, 3 years back, and I was just like a lot skinnier, a lot weirder, no business, nothing. But then the same people kind of who would have done all back then, even like people you'd know around here, then all of a sudden become interested. It's like they don't really give a fuck if you've got a bird, but at the same time, your focus isn't birds at the end of the day. You've got a bird. I'm focused on just doing good.
So what do you do with that? Do you just literally ignore the message and delete it?
Yeah, I just don't even bother.
Epic.
I just don't get off. Like, I feel like if you just fell into a trap of that, like, you'd be in that trap for the rest of your life, because there's always going to be people that are going to message you.
Crazy, yeah.
And in person.
Yeah.
Like, especially with where you can go and networking in the world, like, you can go out anywhere, can't you? And like, some people will see, I don't know, any form of success, or just because how you look, or, you know, you're following whatever, and they'll try it on, but it's like, you're going to get that everywhere. You've just got to like batter it off, because where are you going to get in life if you just do that going around in circles?
Yeah, especially gold digging and all that.
yeah.
So what's the actual master plan then to finish on? Are you potentially moving? You thinking of potentially moving?
It's something that, do you know what? Like, so before I got into the industry, that was like my motivation from the start. I always had travel and places in mind. And I mean, I may go to these places and then decide, you know, I don't want this, because I've already found that since I've been online, I've travelled a lot more.
Okay.
And I've worked whilst I've travelled. Obviously, sometimes I'll take a few days off, whatever. But I like to keep routine in the morning when I'm awake. So I'm like, look, if I can keep all my clients happy, keep results coming in, and all I have to do is I'll just get up at 6, do them till 7:30 in the morning, then I've got a full day on holiday. Why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah, okay.
Some people would say, oh, you should just have full weeks off. I'm like, yeah, I might do it sometimes, but at the same time, like,
don't do it for you. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm not about that.
And that's why I want to keep to a level where I know business can grow from, as in other coaches, other incomes, but I'm always in a position where my physical work I have to do, I can always manage, because I like that.
Get you.
But then I have found, by the time a week's holiday is up and you've done that, I'm like itching for routine. So like, I don't necessarily love the UK, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to be back because I want that routine.
You could obviously build that routine if you were in Dubai or Mars.
You could build that routine.
You know what I mean? If
you've
got
that
a house,
routine
got
anywhere,
scales,
it's more when, it's more when you're like moving. Like, what I wouldn't want to do, and I know I wouldn't want to do it, is the thing like where you see some people do 2 weeks.
No, man,
no way.
Me. Just think you'd have to have a place in Dubai with your scales, your microwave, your rice, your chicken, then save. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a nightmare. You'd have to have a personal shopper.
Yeah, like, I think your physique takes an impact. You got to be consistent. Foods are different everywhere.
Big time.
And then
even the supermarket shopping, we've got a place in Portugal. It's just a nightmare going and thinking, what the hell's this again? Is this gluten-free? What?
Yeah, it's just a nightmare. So I think physique and business, even if physically, you know, should it take much of an impact? No, but like, it does. And mentally, you're not as fresh, are you? When you're in a routine. So if I were to go somewhere, I'd kind of want to use this next year to figure out where.
Try it properly for like a solid month.
Try it properly.
Do the
figure
proper
it out,
supermarket
and then
shop.
it would be a full routine as if I was at home, just elsewhere.
Cool, mega.
But
so you're thinking about it.
I know I don't want to be here forever.
Okay.
I don't want to be. I want at least 6 months out of the UK in the next 12 months' time.
Cool.
I'd say.
Best of luck, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for everything, mate. It'd be a pleasure.
Thank you too.